EU5 is coming November 4th, and I cannot wait to get started. I have had 0 hours of playtime in this new game, and I would really like to explore doing achievements and other fun things in EU5. So, let's try and get some quick achievements done in EU4 before that date arrives. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going for one of 2 Norway achievements, that being Let It Go. This should be a quick achievement. We need to have our capital in the Canada region and own 0 Scandinavian provinces. OBS decided that I did not have to have my microphone on for this video, so I have to record my voice lines over the footage. So we're going to turn this into a sort of a guide. Our first mission we need to be aware of is we need to make sure we have a 100 opinion with 2 of Denmark's rivals. In this game, Poland, Lithuania, and Novgorod are those rivals. That will ask them to become support independence for us. We can always ask for support independence the old-fashioned way as well. We need to complete some burger estates and build 3 units to get to force limit. After that, we get some permanent claims on Denmark, as well as become independent. So we get some claims on the stuff in the south of the peninsula, but we're probably not going to end up taking those to save some points. Going over to our estates for the clergy, we want to make sure we get our admin points from this, and we're also going to make sure we get the dip points from the burgers estate. We're going to give the oversight as well as the religious diplomats. From the nobility, we're not going to be taking the mill power. We're going to be going ahead to take the levies, as well as the right of council, and that should do it. Again, from the burgers, we want to make sure we get those dip points so we can get our exploration ideas finished first. We'll get the patronage of the arts, as well as take the free enterprise. At some point as well, we can also take the trade fleet so we can get our ships to be built. There is a mission to build some boats, so we can go ahead and take that at some point. We will be spending some dip power in this game to develop the burgers mission, just in case we want to continue this run later on. So we can encourage development in this state to go ahead and get that production running for our fur province. We can go ahead and we can build 3 units from this stack to get to force limit to complete that mission. We also need to recruit a general for said mission. No siege pips, just 3 fire and 3 maneuver, which isn't the best, but it is going to have to do. Next thing is to send some diplomats to improve relations with the rivals aforementioned. So Poland will not accept support independence, but Lithuania will. So we'll go ahead and send that, and we can start improving with Novgorod as well as Poland to try and get them to that 100 relations and support independence as well. At some point, Sweden will probably ally us. In this moment, I do believe they did, so that will also help us. We need to make sure also that we declare the independence war before Sweden declares theirs. That way we are the war leader and don't have to wait for Sweden to peace out, so we can take money and war reps as well as any provinces if we so desire. So Poland did actually choose a local noble in this run, which is actually maybe a little beneficial for us. We also completed our mission for building the force limit. So allying Poland would probably be more beneficial since they're not always going to choose that local noble than allying Lithuania if Lithuania is Denmark's rival. So you might want to retry until England is supporting your independence, but I think Poland-Lithuania is probably a better ally so they can deal with Denmark's allies. We do end up getting a Diplo Rep Advisor. That's going to help us a little bit with getting the support independence as well as the relations topped off with our possible friends here. So we also get the support independence from Novgorod, which is really nice. Because we can declare the war with all of the helpers, Lithuania, Novgorod, Sweden, and Poland, let's go ahead and do that before Sweden declares their own independence war. That'll make us the war leader, and we get control over whether or not we get war reps and money or provinces as well. So let's go ahead and declare that. That finishes a mission or 2. We do end up getting lucky in this run with a pretty good ruler. They have quite a bit of pips, so that's very fortunate for us. For the missions, we get the independence and the liberty for Norway, so we can get some permanent claims and some prestige, and we can later on, after we get independence, get the personal union on Denmark. It does give us some claims on the south. We again are going to ignore those and not take any land in this peace deal. We take a fight here because we have the favorable terrain, but you're probably better off waiting until your allies can help you. Because you're not taking any land, Sweden can occupy the stuff in, let's say, Lund, without having to worry about that, because you're just going to be taking war reps and independence from this war. And then later on, you can go back and you can personal union Denmark later if you so choose. Make sure we piece out the Teutons for money and war reps. We don't get all the money, but the war reps are what is important. Making sure we take as little loans as possible is super important as well, because there is a mission where we need to have 0 loans in order to get some bonuses to our colonizing. So needing to piece them out and make sure we take money in any of the wars that we take is super, super important as Norway in the early game. And just like that, after piecing out the Teutons, we're actually able to take our independence and war reps and a little bit of money from Denmark as well. So we might as well send that demand and get going as fast as possible. So piecing out of Denmark, we are now independent, and that is super, super good. We can get our independence mission done here. I'm going to save that to try and make sure I can utilize the Restoration of the Union CB whenever I so choose, because it only lasts for 20 years. So we're going to save that, get rid of the pop-up for now, and use that again later. Go ahead and reset our rivals. We're going to just match Scotland here because we are allied to Novgorod and Sweden at this point. So matching rivals to Scotland, very good. But now we just have to start cranking out our ideas so that we can get exploration and making sure we get strong allies in, say, Poland or Lithuania, so we don't get attacked by Sweden or England or somebody else later on down the road. The next thing we want to do is we want to build 2 heavies and 3 light ships so that we can get enough light ships to finish an achievement so we can get an explorer and vision of Greenland, which is where we need to colonize first to move our capital to the Canada region. So to do that, I take out some burger loans, which probably not the best thing to do, but it's totally okay. We're not actually, to get this achievement, going to need to be at 0 loans, so we can go ahead and we can set our private trade fleets to get the light ship cost down, and we can build our 2 heavies and our 3 light ships to get to 5 and 8 respectively. Here you see me paying off the high interest loans with the money we took from the burger loans. That should help us try and lose not as much money. We'll be mothballing our forts and the fleets that we're not using, as well as putting our maintenance down. And you can see that we're not losing any money, which is super, super important because we need to be using that money to colonize as well as pay off some of these loans for a future mission. This is something that's not really necessary. Sweden wanted to break alliance with me because they wanted some land from that first war, so they lost some trust with us. So I'm currying favors to build some trust back with Sweden so that the alliance doesn't break, or if it does break, I can re-ally them. But they're going to probably eventually rival us anyways later on down the line, so this is totally unnecessary. Now we take our admin tech here. We need 1 more level of admin tech so we can get our ideas. And the Renaissance has spawned, so we're trying to improve relations with anybody who might be able to sell us the institution. The Italians actually don't have range to give us the institution, but it should spread north pretty quickly, so keep an eye out for which nations have it so you can buy it from them. We're making enough money here where we can actually hire an advisor for level 1 just to get extra admin points, making sure that we can take our tech at the right time. Very important. We're still actually having a positive balance, which is good. We are ahead of time on our dip. We actually will be losing some points if we don't take some tech. So we'll go ahead and take it ahead of time here, get that innovativeness. Not really a big factor in this campaign, but at least we're not going to be wasting points. We do fall a little bit behind later on in terms of our dip points, but we're still able to take our exploration ideas on time. Because we're trying to speedrun this achievement, we're going to ally Sweden. If you're actually going for a serious Norway campaign, you do not want to do this because you can actually steal the Swedish PU from Denmark using the restoration of the CB Union you get later on through your missions. But to make the war easier with Denmark, we're going to go ahead and do this anyways. We went ahead and built our fleet up, so we're actually able to complete this mission here. We get some bonuses here, and that unlocks further bonuses for colonialism, as well as gives us an explorer. So we can start exploring the New World relatively quickly. Once we get our colony established in Greenland, we can actually complete the achievement. So doing that will be the key part of this. So the faster we can get there, the better. Now that we've explored the coast of Canada, we can see that Greenland does fall under the Canada region, which is all we really need to move our capital to Greenland and complete the achievement. We're late to getting Renaissance, but we have the admin, so let's go ahead and take our exploration ideas, start spending our dip on those ideas here. Getting the Quest of the New World and that colonist is the big thing. So once we get that colonist, we should be able to start colonizing Greenland as soon as we can make sure we can keep exploring that stuff. In the meantime, but once we can colonize Greenland and finish that colony, the achievement is more or less done. We can finally take our colonist here, and our ideas will finish up this random event here. And now the decision is to set our native policy. We're actually going to take the far left policy, the one that just lets you speed 5 and not have to worry about it. Even though with our estate privileges, we are able to get the 100% native uprising chance reduction through the estate privileges, but we're just going to go ahead and set it to the leftmost one and forget about it. As you do have to make sure you click your decisions to ensure that the native uprising chance is 0. We're just going to set it and forget it in speed 5. Just hope that we're able to establish that colony without any interruptions from the natives. So go ahead and select these bonuses. Just make sure you do this in any colonial run. We do it here. We don't really have to. We could just leave them be, but I think speed 5 from here is pretty much all that is in store. So we'll go ahead and select this policy, and we will speed 5 until we can move our capital to this province once we statify it and finish that colony. Go ahead and send the colonists now. We can take the restoration of the Union CB on Denmark here. A reminder, if Sweden is still their subject, you can get the PU on them as well. If they're disloyal, they won't help in the war, so it's just you versus Denmark, more or less, unless you're in Swedish territory. This is one of those things where Sweden's actually going to help us out here. Might as well do it since we're just waiting for our dip points. So we can go ahead and take that CB war on Denmark as just something to do in the meantime. So we're going to go ahead and declare that war and try to fight Denmark. We should be able to have naval superiority on them, occupy Sjælland and Copenhagen, and pretty much peace out Denmark for the personal union while we're waiting for our dip points to catch up and our colony to finish. We're able to get actually onto the island of Copenhagen here. Our navy is stronger, so we're able to make sure we have control over all of these crossings. So we can just have to wait for that to fall, and we can peace out Denmark for everything we want. We're able to peace out the Teutonic Order here, and we can go ahead and just white peace them, just to get them out of the war, to let us peace out Denmark for whatever we want. And now we can go over to Denmark here and peace out for the restoration of the Union, as well as a bunch of money. So just send that demand. There's no aggressive expansion or coalition to speak of. It's the only aggressive war we've had this entire campaign. So go ahead and start improving those relations once the diplomat gets back and the month has passed. So we'll be able to make sure we keep that Union after our leader death. That's just something we can do in the meantime. As you can see, we have all these claims on Sweden and Denmark here. They should be able to annex Holstein at some point in time as well. And that way it's just one less subject that we have to worry about. But if you do this with Sweden as a PU of Denmark, you can get that PU as well for free. So that's just something you want to make sure to do if you're not going for this achievement. You're rather going for Norwegian wood, in which case having Sweden as a PU subject is much more important than having them as an ally in your war against Denmark. Now that our colony is finished, we want to make sure we full state it and core it. Now that allows us to move our capital to that province. So let's go ahead and move our capital here. That puts us in the Canada region. So now what we have to do is get rid of our territorial holdings in Europe. So we'll go ahead and we'll release a couple of subjects. Iceland and Sapmi can take all of the provinces we have in mainland Europe just based off of the sea tile connections we have here. So Iceland can take our stuff in the Scottish Isles, and Sapmi can take our stuff in Scandinavia. So we'll go ahead and release all of our provinces in Europe via these subjects. Let's go ahead and release Iceland here. And then we'll do the same thing with Sapmi. So Iceland just has their provinces, 2 provinces in Iceland, and Sapmi will have their 1 province in northern Scandinavia. And let's go ahead and slowly give them all of our provinces via the subject interaction screen. So making sure that Iceland can jump to this province allows us to get rid of the rest of our stuff in Scandinavia. We can still keep that one in northern Scotland there. We'll give it away anyways. And now we can give the stuff to Sapmi just to finish off our territorial holdings here. It's important to make a save here if you do want to go for Norwegian wood later before you give this stuff away, because having this stuff as your own holdings is a lot more valuable than giving them to subjects and being a 1 province binder in Greenland. But we'll go ahead and give this stuff away just to get the achievement. Now that that's all done, we'll go ahead and let a day pass, and we should get the Let It Go achievement as Norway have your capital in the Canada region while having no provinces in Scandinavia. Go ahead and let the day pass. You can hear that Steam achievement there, and we have another achievement unlocked. Now, EU5 is coming out very soon. We're going to be trying to play that. I have not had any hours in that game yet, so I'm a little behind the other content creators, but we're going to try and enjoy that very much. If you want to see me do a Norwegian wood campaign before EU5 comes out, make sure to like this video and subscribe down below. We're going to try and get at least one more campaign on the channel of EU4 before we start doing some EU5 content. But don't worry, we'll still be doing EU4 content after EU5's release. I just have a lot of learning to do in EU5, so we're going to have fun with that. With that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.